Hello there. It's kind of hard to believe sometimes, but um, people are looking for passive people. Uh, then you can guilt them in not having an emotion, or they don't have. They feel like they kind of don't have the right to complain because they do not want to take control of their relationship because but they'll do other things. I mean, they'll do other things to piss a person off and do all this kind of stuff out there, but when it comes to a true relationship, they will act passive about it. And I never understood that because I've been in long-term relationships, and I have learned they do like passiveness because they don't want to work on a relationship. And I wrote for like over, like, oh, like 20 something years about relationships. And the partner I had, he didn't even realize I was speaking about our relationship because I couldn't relate to him as a companion, that there was difficulties in the relationship. So I start writing about it and didn't get it. People just don't get it. They don't know how to communicate because they want to just kind of walk around everything thinking everything is going to be okay. And not only that, other relationships. I think I've been like in 150 relationships, but never been actually in them. But people want people just kind of shut up, just have their issues, and they just want it to be over with, and you go about your everyday life like nothing ever happened. And what it does, it just keeps on festering and festering. And then, like, I'm single for years now, and I have noticed even with dating, uh, people like that passiveness because they don't want to work on a relationship. And they'll complain for years and years about that person because they can't figure out what's going on. And then when they divorce, then they find out that they have to figure out all this emotion stuff, and they're really kind of messed up in the head because they didn't work on their marriage, and they have regret. A lot of people have regret because their marriage did not work out. Well, how can you make a marriage work out if you're passive? You don't want to talk about it, because once you start building the blocks in your head, that just piles like a brick wall. You can't hardly get past that because you already set the relationship up, and the person has already gotten where I can't relate to you, I can't talk to you. I don't know how to explain things to you because it just doesn't get through that you have these issues and you're wanting to talk about them already and it didn't work. There's only so long you can try to get through to someone before you understand. Ah, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. Either you put up with it, like you just put up with it until the last straw breaks, and then you just had it. You just had it. And you're trying to explain to a person, the problem, and they're not still getting it. And you can be a passive person and just kind of let it slide, and you're doing all these other things that's really not enhancing the relationship because you try, but you don't try. Because if you can't talk to a person and you can't really get communication with them to get the communication back, you just don't want to do it. But when you're complaining about somebody not communicating with you, look at yourself and see what kind of communicator you are. Sometimes you're not as good as a communicator as you think. And when you can't communicate with someone and you're going around complaining about the other one because they can't communicate, you really need to knock down some of those bricks in your head to see the light, where you can learn how to, there's more than one person in the relationship. There's like two people, there's two people involved, so if you cannot work through this relationship with that person, you're going to go out there and you're going to create other relationships with the same problem. Just because you move on to another relationship, that doesn't mean you don't carry yourself with you. You always carry yourself with you. And when you get into other relationships, when they're trying to tell you something that really is defensive or it bothers you, and if we talk about it, we can fix it maybe. And if you're a person that like, we'll discuss it, and then you find out you really can't discuss it because they're really not really concerned about you as a person, even though they might still want you in a relationship because they want the passiveness where they don't have to really work on anything. And then again, that's where social media comes in at. You can get on there, you can talk to people, and they will feel sorry for you, and they will tell you all about their relationship and their marriages and all this other stuff, and they'd be agreeable, and and everything. Then you start getting interested in these people because you have all that stuff in common. I mean, it happens all the time. You're just drawn to that because you have to have an excuse for not good behavior in a relationship. So when you're keeping it real and honest with yourself, if you're wanting something good or something real, it is a little complicated. But if you cannot work issues out, especially if they're getting thrown at your face, you're not going to be a suitable partner for that individual. But there are suitable partners for people who want passive people who eventually will, after the honeymoon part is over, eventually will just kind of be passive and walk through the house, without a word, because they've learned that they do not have a communicating type of personality working with them. And they might be the same too, and they might be looking for the same thing, even though they're kind of passing. When you start having those like passing through the house without the communication, not the real things that matter in a relationship. You can go on vacations, you can go on a holiday, you can go shopping, you can invite people over, but if you cannot pull a relationship together when you're by yourself, it's just like passing in the dark, not really seeing one another. You're just kind of doing your own thing. So, and keep it going, rocking in your life. That is a thinking ability. Thinking ability of things that you need in your life where you can have a relationship or dating situations to figure out what kind of person is going to be suitable for your personality. It's really all up to you. Really, it's all in your hands. People make mistakes all the time, and they renew them all the time because they do not know how to face a situation and then work on it. And if they work on it for 10 minutes, they think they gave it a yahooey, you know what I mean? So just keep it going, woohooey. That's all you can do in life. And then just enjoy yourself, do things to enhance your personality, and just have a really good time as much as you can, because why not? Life is too short to waste on people who don't get it And if you're the person that don't get it, then you are the fault as much as the person you're blaming. Cha-cha. Catch you next time. Check me out on my YouTube channel. Bye-bye for now.